What's going on, everybody? I'm Tyler Jacobs, and this is our very late, very delayed bloody Assizes review show. I apologise in advance for the sound problems. I've tried to fix them. There's still going to be fuzziness when I talk. It's a problem that I just can't fix because my new system makes quite a lot of sound with my desk. If I leave the mic on all the time, it's a loud humming sound when I talk instead, like this. This is a video that wasn't going to be made, but instead I'm going to try and get a much shorter version than the last one out. So without further ado, let's get into bloody Assizes 2017. We kicked off the show with Zazu versus Efedding. Now I hope I'm pronouncing that correctly. Ulf is pretty brand new to the IWF, and he's been doing pretty well off the start. He had a great match with Zazu. The two of them went toes. I mean, they kicked off the show with such a great match. It went a lot longer than a lot of people were expecting. The two really did put each other through the paces. Zazu is one of those guys who's never really kind of broken through to the main event. He's been close to doing that, especially during his run with the House of Howlett. But he's always been one of those guys, you know, you're going to get your money's worth with him. You know he can put in a quality match. And Ulf definitely made a name for himself in the opening match. We'll get to what happened later in the pay-per-view later. But kicking off the pay-per-view, Ulf picked up one hell of a victory over Zazu and moved on. Certainly kicked off what's going to be the start of the Heir to the Throne with a big victory over Zazu. After that, we had a segment from Lindsey Grawn, who is James Gilmore's agent or something. It was so politically drawn. It was so much a parallel to what's going on in US politics right now that I was really bored when I was watching it, and I kind of stopped paying attention, which, to be honest, is pretty much what happens whenever anyone like James Gilmore is on the screen. I just kind of get to catchphrases so that you can get off my goddamn screen, or someone can come down and punch you in your goddamn mouth, you goddamn hypocrite. But I guess she's here to do the talking for Gilmore, because Lord knows someone needs to talk for him, because he never knows when to shut up. He never knows who he should be talking to and who he shouldn't be talking to. Like, he really doesn't know his place on the totem pole. And he's often been smacked down on that totem pole, and he still just gets back up and he's like, yeah, I showed you. Like, no, dude, you got your head smacked in. But regardless, there was a thing. It happened, and I assume it's going to happen again. C'est la vie. After that, we had Dre Cutler going up against Mr. Sandman. Bring me a dream. Made a promise that I would do. Jason Sandman, who proved my point right and couldn't beat a legit competitor. Yes, Jason Sandman can beat a clown, but he can't beat a legit competitor in Dre Cutler. Yes, two of them had a great match. It was a kendo stick on a pole match, but the two of them ended up fighting to a draw because the arena itself just couldn't contain them, and they just went wild. And one of those matches where, as given, unlike what was happening with Bob Paula and Jason Matthews, you're left thinking, okay, I want to see what happens next. I want this to happen again. Perhaps we'll get more at Open Fight Night or on Monday Night Sacrifice, or perhaps even at Legacy. We'll see another Dre Cutler versus Jason Sandman match. Who knows if Sandman even wants another match? God knows what goes on in his head. All I know is Dre Cutler is definitely focused on the Heir to the Throne. But who knows what we'll see next. After that, we came to another segment of the night that was quite confusing. Regina Kimball graced our TV screens once again. To pimp out Fiona McFly's music career. But then out came Kate Steele, and she had a bit of... At first it seemed like her and Fiona were going to do a duet, and like the crowd were like... Eh. But then Kate was like, no, you're stealing my gimmick. And everyone, like a lot of people were kind of like, yeah, she is. She's doing it for a while. And Kate is like, okay, yeah, it's not happening anymore. And it seems like those two are going to be at loggerheads for a while. And I guess music is the reason why. We'll see going further ahead. And then after that, we finally got to the rubber match between Bob Pooler and Jason Matthews. A no time limit Invictus Rules championship match. The two of them really laid it all out in the ring because it was a go home match for the two of them. Bob and Jason, they went balls to the walls, and finally we were left with a winner. And Jason Matthews has made history. He is the first 3-time Invictus champion. I know a lot of people don't look at Jason as kind of record-setting, like Hall of Fame type champion, but this match, this whole scenario, this whole program he's had with Bob Pooler really sets that tone. He is the guy that at some point deserves to go into the Hall of Fame. He set that record. It's been a year of record championships. You know, we've had Eternity, we've had Cable Arcane, we've had Spike Kane, and now we've had Jason Matthews. It's been a great year for IWF, and Jason Matthews has had such a career path where he was at his high in an Imperial Championship match, and he got stomped so bad that he fell all the way back to the bottom of the totem pole, and now here he is setting a new record as the 3-time Invictus champion. And another question is, Bob Pooler, what will he do next? And then of course we came to another segment in the night where Todd Williams actually showed up, and that was pretty much what he had to say. I'm here, I'm Todd Williams. Shockingly enough, Todd kind of turned heel, which I don't think anyone saw coming. He turned against the crowd, and I guess people weren't expecting that. I mean, Todd's always been kind of a fun guy. He's kind of like, you know, he likes to throw catchphrases out. He's kind of here to do his job. He's just here to have fun. He's like, I'm going to do my thing, and pizzow. But not so much now, and I guess he's kind of... people have been kind of saying I'm throwing my name into the heir to the throne, but I don't think they've kind of grasped that everybody is in the heir to the throne. So he also called out Dre Cutler, and I believe he's actually challenged him to a match at Open Fight Night, so that's a pretty big match that people should keep their eyes on. We'll see how that goes down. It's quite a big step up for Todd, and if he can take out someone like Dre Cutler, that's some big points going into the heir to the throne. So I guess way to kick off the heir to the throne, Todd. You can keep it up. The match after that was the Man of Steel Championship between Devlin Rain and Ryan Shane. Now these two have been going at it ever since Devlin won the championship from Spike Kane at night. Ryan and Devlin have kind of been at each other. Devlin beat Ryan at Open Fight Night, but he still ended up giving Ryan Shane this Man of Steel Championship shot. A lot of people didn't think he deserved it. A lot of people felt that other people deserved the shot, but Shane obviously was like, no, I'm Ryan fucking Shane. I deserve the match. Obviously, I've said some things that have upset Ryan Shane in the past. But ever since Night of Immortals, I personally think we've seen a very different Ryan Shane. Actually, ever since his match with Nighthawk, I think we've seen a very different Ryan Shane. Ryan Shane that just doesn't care what people think about him. A Ryan Shane who knows what he wants and he's going to get it whether people care or not. And I think that's what we saw in this match. We saw Devlin Rain, who had this cause that he was fighting for, had this vengeance, and got it against Spike Kane with a little bit of help from Warren maybe, but he got it. And without that cause and a vindictive, fierce Ryan Shane, this wasn't enough. And unfortunately, Devlin will possibly go down as the shortest reigning Man of Steel champion, whereas now Ryan Shane try and choose Spike Kane. Can he do it? He was a pretty damn good Man of Steel before. Jury's out, but got a goddamn good chance. What's next for Devlin Rain? Will he try and get a rematch, or is he just going to focus on the edge of the throne? Lord knows, but he's got a good chance. He's got just as much chance as anybody else. The match after that was one that people have been wanting for a while, was Paige Garcia versus Alexis Caffrey. The two have been in each other's faces, in each other's shit for a while. Like, Alexis trying to cost Paige the Diamonds Championship and trying to get in matches with her, and Paige was just having none of it. But finally, we got the match. The two of them put on a great match. It was a really good match that it showcased what the two are capable of. Ending, however, showed Paige's true colours. Just when it looked like Alexis might have the match in hand, Sarah Garcia got involved. The usual twin shenanigans. I don't really want to follow the actual. If you haven't watched it, you should go and watch it. But Sarah got involved. Paige ends up rolling up Alexis and steals the victory, which to me makes me feel like this isn't over. Alexis doesn't seem like the kind of woman that would accept a roll-up victory to end this. Paige, possibly, she'd be like, well, I beat you. Hurrah. See you later. Goodbye. Toodaloo. But Alexis is one of those diamonds. She's got a fire inside and she'd be like, well, no, you cheated. If you want me to go away, beat me properly, one-on-one, with no help. I don't think this is another match. And hey, I want to see another match. After that came the much anticipated Shield Maiden triple threat elimination match between Alicia Lucas, Shea O'Hara and Rowan McDonough. Ooh, what a brutal match this was. I mean, unfortunately for Alicia Lucas, she was eliminated quite early on. I don't know what people were expecting. It was so up in the air. Was Alicia going to work with Rowan? Were they going to team up and eliminate Shea together? Or was Rowan going to turn on Alicia and eliminate her straight away? I don't think people expected Alicia to go after Rowan straight away. But it wasn't. It was such a crazy match. And then Rowan presented Alicia for Shea to eliminate, wanting her. You should eliminate someone tonight. It was so deep, such mind games just to get into the head of the Shield Maiden. But Shea took it. She took the pinfall. She eliminated Alicia. Apologies for that. I'll carry on. That was Catherine. And then it came down to Shea versus Rowan. After Shea was blindsided by Rowan with a brutal hit to the back of the head. The two of them went back and forth, and it really, honest to God, could have gone either way. And just as it looked like the two of them were about to tear each other apart, Shea fainted. She lured Rowan in and hit her with a straight edge super kick. And for the first time IWF history, Rowan McDonough was. That's a big deal. I mean, that is a really big deal. Rowan has never been pinned. She's never submitted. And for the first time in her career happened, Shea retains. And she is still the IWF Shield Maiden champion. and congratulations to her, because what a challenge that was. And I don't even know what's next in line for her. I assume that this thing with Rowan is done, but you can never count someone like Rowan out. Who knows what who knows what is in store next. What came next was the Diamonds Championship between Gabrielle Luna and Pandora Freeman, and it was a pretty great match between the two girls. It was. I apologise for trying to rush a bit now, but I'm on a very tight deadline. Unfortunately, it was nothing too fancy. It was a very straight match between the two women. Pandora picked up the victory. It was a very straightforward victory. Unfortunately, Gabriella didn't look like she was going to win, and Pandora retains. I apologise, I don't have too much to say about this match, but congratulations to Pandora. Get your defense under your belt and you plow on through. Next match was quite a big talking point for the pay-per-view. We had Mike Laszlo and Cable Arcane versus Spike Kane and Roberto Verona. The match itself had some great moments where we had Cable and Spike going at it, Mike Laszlo and Spike going at it, and Cable got Spike in the STF and he reached to tag Verona, but Verona wouldn't tag in, and it was like, what the fuck? What's going on? He's supposed to be his partner. And then as Spike gets to the ropes and Cable was forced to break the hold, then Verona tags in, and it's like, oh my god, why are you doing this? We can't take this anymore. And then everything starts to break down. Spike tags himself in, the chaos is breaking down, he hits people with thunderstrucks. Verona goes for the pin, Laszlo kicks out, everyone's going mad, and then out of nowhere, a truck is on fire on the Imperatron, and Xavier Cross comes out on the stage, walks down to the ring, and he starts almost preaching. Not preaching, but he starts giving a speech, and he gives Verona the finger, and then out of nowhere, Verona's pulled from the ring, and Jason Sandman, of all people, Jason Sandman starts wailing on him, and then utter chaos. We have Cold Chaos come from out of nowhere. We have Ulf Hedney come and join the fray, and all four of them are fighting with the four men in the ring. At one point, you had Spike Kane and Mike Laszlo on the same side fighting against Xavier Cross. If you've got Spike Kane and Mike Laszlo on the same side, you know something's gone fucking wrong. But anyway, the council, as we would find out that they are named, ended up setting the Greek announce table on fire and triple powerbombing Cable through it. They tried to do the same to Spike. He fought off enough, but the security came down. Verona managed to get security down. I think Cross had a device that set off a pyro on the stage that stopped security enough so that they could put Cable through the table. They planned to put all of them through tables, but they only managed to get Cable through, and then they scattered off into the crowd, and it left such a stain on the pay-per-view that it was all people have been talking about ever since. The council, led by Xavier Cross, of all people, Xavier Cross, the guy who's been posting these vignettes on Sacrifice for weeks now, leading the returning Cold Chaos. This brand new guy, Jason Sandman, brand new guy, Ulf Hedney, in some war against IWF. He promised he will burn IWF to the ground, and he took out 4 of IWF's most main event talent in one night. I'm like a white girl at Starbucks at Halloween. I literally can't even. All I know is, if those 4 guys are on the same page, council are in for a reckoning. But the problem is, how do you get those 4 egos on the same page and I believe that might be Cross's plan in the whole first place. If this is just the first step in what's to come, then IWF. But how do we follow that up? How do you follow up such a dramatic ending to what was supposed to be a great tag team match? We had the Imperial Championship match between Jake the Ace Conway and Andrew Jacobson in what should have been a landmark match for the IWF. It was Andrew Jacobson's first title defense against someone who had been one of his worst enemies and also one of his best friends. And the hype had been stolen, and the match just couldn't live up to it. And I mean absolutely no disrespect to either Jake the Ace Conway or Andrew Jacobson, but I hope that they get another chance to do this again, because I feel like they deserve it. I feel like they deserve that limelight. But after the Ace hit a super kick to Andrew, Andrew kind of didn't fall down. He was staggering and managed to hit a super kick of his own, and then they both kind of collapsed. Andrew landed on top of him. He was very lucky that he landed on top of him and not the other way around. And Ace was defeated. So in my opinion, what was a great match had its hype stolen. The ending to me wasn't definitive enough. It needs another match. I feel like we need another Andrew versus. And I don't know about you guys, but I feel like it needs some kind of stipulations for this kind of ending. And that's my thought. That's Tyler Jacobs' thoughts. So anywho, that's my review of Bloody Assizes. I apologise if it seems a bit rushed, but I'm on a very tight deadline, and I hope you appreciate the fact that I actually managed to get a video out by some of the things that have been on. I will see you guys in a few weeks for Legacy, and in a few months, I will be trying to get some more videos out, some more weekly videos to try and get some more different thoughts on things. Perhaps even some guests in these videos too. But that's it for this week, and this month even, and I will see you soon.